to the model on page number 1. If you flip back to that model on page number 1. We've talked about 3 core components of customer centricity. The customer looking at everything through the lens of the customer. Now, as an organization going forward, that service mapping tool is the tool that will help to make sure that we're all looking through the lens of the customer and that our processes are designed that way. With the service environment, everything speaks. And so the tool going forward is we need to start focusing in on what our everything speaks commitments from a physical and an attitudinal perspective. When it comes to the service delivery, those moments of wow. What are those little things that we can do to create those moments of wow? Just through the thought process of applying our service philosophy and our service standards. Now, with the processes, we've talked a little bit about the tools. Those are a part of it. But this is really the process part of it now. Is how do we enculturate this going forward? How do we enculturate? Now, enculturate is not a word. Right? I made it up. But it says what it's supposed to say. If I was in one of your operations and I was observing somebody on your team interacting with a customer, and they were doing all of the things that we've been talking about, and they were doing them really, really well, and then they're finished interacting with the customer, I go over to that Septidon employee and say, what got you to do that? What got you to give that level of service? The best response that he or she could give me is, I don't know what you're talking about. That's just the way we do things. That's the Septidon way. Versus if they say something like, well, management has these video cameras that monitor us. If I don't do it, then I got a demerit. Then it's a flavor of the month program. Enculturate means it's not a flavor of the month program. Enculturate means it becomes embedded in everything that we do. And I want to show you how that's going to happen. Now, this is going to be over a period of time. But if you turn to page number 6, did you get the picture? If you turn to page number 6, what we've been talking about up to this point is really kind of the tip of the iceberg. What's that? Simon found that. Simon found the iceberg.
I stole it from one of you. So.
Yeah, but I love that. He sent that to me. I thought, that's the greatest thing. So the service behaviors are the tip of the iceberg. What makes it part of the culture are all of those things underneath. So these are things that are getting underway now. Putting together the service improvement team, which is made up of a group of champions that's responsible for moving this effort forward across the organization. The service improvement core tools, so taking the things like service mapping, the everything speaks commitments, the service philosophy and standards, and making sure that those get embedded in everything. Ongoing communication. The word I like to use is we need to be relentless in keeping this message in front of our people. And so on and so forth. Hiring and training. One of the questions I used to get asked all the time when I was with Disney is people would say, how long is the training at Disney? How long is the training? What's the answer to that question? Yeah. From the moment you say, I think I'd like to work here, to the moment you leave, everything in between is training because you're surrounded by it. And so on. So what will happen is that these things over a period of time, taking everything that we've talked about today, will become embedded into these elements. So are we hiring people that are wired this way? Are we communicating relentlessly and so forth? Are we removing the obstacles? Because we all know that there are certain challenges that every organization has. Are we identifying those, and are we doing something about those obstacles to better serve our customers, but also so that you can do what you do in a better way? So you're going to be hearing a lot more about this going forward. Many of you will likely be participating on some of the things that will be rolling out. But what we've talked about this morning is the foundation for all of that. Okay? And again, I do want to stress, you don't have to wait for anybody else to do anything. Right? I mean, really, when you think of everything that we've talked about, you can apply in the next customer interaction that you have. But if it's enculturate, the outcome of doing all this, going right back to what we talked about at the beginning, the outcome is intense customer loyalty. And that's what we're all looking for, right? That high level of loyalty. And when I think about extreme customer loyalty, off the charts customer loyalty, most people think because of my background that my mind goes to Disney, but it does not. When I think about extreme customer loyalty, my mind goes to that organization right there, Harley Davidson. Just out of curiosity, any Harley riders in the room? Do we have any Harley riders? No? No? You do have one? Okay. Harley riders are very special people. I want you to imagine having a company where your customers are so loyal that they are willing to carve your company's name into their skins. I want you to imagine going up to a dentist or a dealer or distributor, and you say, roll up your sleeve, and there it is. Isn't that what we should be shooting for? Isn't that what we should be looking for? Now, we might not get to that. Now, it would be great if we did, but we probably won't get to that. But I do promise you this, if you are enculturating the things that we've been talking about today, while we may not get to the tattoo, we get to the loyalty, and I think that's worth every moment of effort we put into it. I hope that these ideas have been helpful for you today. Thank you all so much for your attention. Turn it over to Tanya.